Welcome to Crypto Reality this week, right? I'm having a decent afternoon, and man, it's been a rough week. I want to thank you guys for contributing. Also, I got this in the mail. It says Crypto Reality did it, and it has pictures of the skunk ape, and then it has also on the cup, you can see one of those goblin costume wearing miners with a grip on the tree he's hiding behind. Must be a lot of gold here in South Florida because I got costume wearing miners, 7 to 9 feet tall. Same thing, right? So I kind of wanted to address that. Here's my take on it. Peru and South America really has been having cataclysmic natural disasters, man, one after another. 2022, the ancient complex was basically had an upheaval, an earthquake, landslides, collapses. So what I see going on a larger scale is the creature's habitat is being destroyed on a cataclysmic level. So what's the next process? The creatures are coming out of the mountains and encountering humans. Now, we have creatures that have just been through a natural disaster. I honestly believe that this is just hominoids, and I think that eventually it'll come out that there was a spin put on it to make people think that it was ridiculous what they were saying. These creatures that we study are worldwide, and South America is connected to North America. So what are we looking at? Well, that's what I think is coming out of the forests in South America. And I think they're shook up, and I think that they're scared, and I don't think they know what to do. And I think the powers that be are instrumental in misguiding people away from the most simple aspect of their realities, yet again, by using ridiculous inflammatory media. And really, if you look at it, you can see that this is all being filtered. We're not getting the story. The world would be covering something like this if it didn't sound so ridiculous. The villagers are definitely down there saying that 7 to 9 foot goblin-like creatures are attacking them. I just don't think they're saying that they're wearing technology. I think they're freaking out the hominoids that exist everywhere, that every government's been lying about, ridiculously enough, except the Chinese. Go figure that one out, right? Like, they've dedicated a park and they have these huge statues claiming they're real. They've immortalized the hairy giants, the Yeren in China. They have habitats set aside. People go there specifically for the chance to see one of those Yeren, a goblin-like creature, and the other types, because this goblin-like creature is just one of the types that I've personally witnessed with my own 2 eyes. So, what do I think is going on? I think the media and the powers that be are trying to make something very simple look so ridiculous that people can't buy into it. Welcome to Crypto Reality. So, we're going to take a look at a hike that Melanie and I went on last weekend. And I'm just going to make some commentary, and I hope you guys enjoy it. This is Mark and Mel's expedition. So here we are at the front of the habitat, and we're just getting our bearings. And I insist on shooting these places. I'm well aware that they're concerned about humans entering their habitat. This is something that we see in every one of our research areas. They monitor and will keep line of sight on entrances to their habitat. So we're shooting in the probable directions of cover to see if we can catch something. I'm using the zoom lens, and Melanie's shooting with the iPad. Now, typically, I'll get what's in the background farther away, and we can pretty much rely on that when we're viewing the clips, and then Melanie will get what's in between us to some degree. And it really does depend on camera stability. I think the most interesting aspect of how all of this came about was that my wife and I were interested in hiking to see if we could find evidence of the Bigfoot that I saw jump the trail in 2017. What we noticed immediately was that there were huge tracks, and they were the same size, roughly, as the tracks that I found the day of my encounter, and the day that I saw, all of what we now understand. I look at
I think you looked at that
how
slide
this unfolded, and really
before. Do you remember that?
the way that we became more aware was a constant routine of hiking on a weekly basis. So it wasn't just one day a week, it was 3 to 5 days a week in the same exact spot over and over and over again. And what we found was, after about 3 to 5 hikes, no matter where we went, if we kept the exact same route every time, we came in the same entrance, used the same parking lots, never changed our routine, that it became obvious over the course of a few weeks that there was somebody around us and following us on our routine. And it was then that we started to put together the pieces that, okay, well, I thought maybe there was one creature, but we were miles from where I saw it, and we were in a completely different ecosystem. And it was all fenced off, and it was all highways in between. And it just occurred to me, okay, let's just go off the idea that since they're digging them out of the ground, hominoids are real still. My mentor, Lloyd Pye, said that we push them into the fringe areas. And all of my theory and all of my pre-field research indicates that they're here. This is, in point of fact, where I saw one of the creatures. We put it all together, and the only explanation that is rational is that the creatures are a part of the wild to an extent that makes them wild. You don't see rabbits running around everywhere. You don't see squirrels running around everywhere. You don't see bobcat running around everywhere. You don't see hogs running around everywhere. You don't see human beings running around everywhere. But out here in the wild, it's particularly important that if you're going to survive, then that means really either eat or be eaten, then you have to stay in ambush survival mode and hide survival mode. It's telling that, the creatures in this environment, great and small, all behave as though there are predators hunting them. Everything hides in our research areas, whether you're prey or predator. So we as human beings, 99.99 to the infinite, engage with the environments of the wild in very superficial ways for very obviously superficial reasons, to enjoy for a few hours, lacking a complete understanding, most of us, of what's going on because of our limited understanding of the hominoid subject, and that really the prolific their prolific distribution. I mean, it is, in my opinion, the primary causation for a lot of the legislation we see and a lot of the management that we see here in the state of Florida where wilderness is concerned. If it's a substantial area and it's been around for a long time, it generally has legislation that enables a process of management to begin. That's important to remember, and that when you're in these areas, you can see the exact same kind of stuff that you see here. On the surface, we're all looking at what seems like a regular place, but in the metadata, when you calm down, when you allow yourself to stretch out and become a part of the environment, you become aware that someone else is there.